Best of Humanity. Part 2, The First Light. Chapter 1, Fading Headlines. The first signal sweep in 2037, anomalous readings from deep space suggesting an interstellar object scanning Earth, gripped the world in a frenzy. Newsrooms churned out fevered coverage. Expert panels speculated wildly about alien visitors, rogue planets, or ancient probes. Talk shows hosted debates. Social media erupted with theories and memes, with everyone from scientists to conspiracy influencers weighing in. But the frenzy didn't last. Months passed with no alien message, no ship in the sky. Most experts reminded the public that the object, if real, wouldn't reach Earth for over a century. Well beyond any living person's lifetime. With no new developments, interest faded. Headlines turned to wars, elections, economic uncertainty, and celebrity scandals. Public attention drifted. By 2038, the object had become background noise, a half-remembered curiosity for most. But governments did not forget. Behind closed doors, the world's major powers responded with rare unity. Under the quiet umbrella of the newly established Intergovernmental Committee on Extraterrestrial Phenomena, ICEP, nations began cooperating in secret. Intelligence agencies tracked the object using classified assets. Early investments poured into new sensor systems, AI-enhanced analytics, and experimental propulsion studies. Even long-standing geopolitical tensions began to ease. Conflicts gradually diminished in prominence. The public noticed more peace talks and diplomatic summits, unaware of the true cause. Behind the scenes, a tacit understanding had taken hold among global powers. If the object posed a threat, Earth would stand, or fall, together. Chapter 2. Building the Eyes. By the second year after the signal, ICEP had reached a sobering consensus. Existing instruments weren't sufficient. The object, still faint and impossibly distant, was travelling at a steady 0.1 c, 1/10 the speed of light. At that velocity, it would arrive in Earth's vicinity in 2190, 153 years after initial detection. Yet what stunned scientists wasn't just the speed. The object had been roughly 15.3 light-years away when it scanned Earth. The scan was astonishingly precise, targeting specific regions. For a signal to remain coherent across that distance and resolve details down to individual geographic zones defied human engineering, especially given the challenge of analysing the faint reflections returning to the source. Human laser systems diverge over much shorter distances. Maintaining such precision from interstellar space implied a technological sophistication far beyond ours. The object had scanned Earth with unnerving clarity. This sense of purpose demanded a shift in response. Inside ICEP, the realization crystallized quickly. Humanity was under scrutiny by a force vastly superior in capability and reach. A global consensus emerged. The response had to match the gravity of the revelation. Thus, Project Sentinel was born, a coordinated scientific and strategic effort to watch back, and perhaps to understand. Between 2038 and 2041, a silent scientific revolution unfolded through Project Sentinel. Ground-based observatories were constructed at breakneck speed in neutral, stable regions, high plateaus in Central Asia, and the frozen calm of Antarctica. Automated construction swarms worked through polar nights and bitter storms, building domes, arrays, and control centers. Beyond Earth, several nations expanded research and observation facilities on the Moon and Mars, turning existing outposts into advanced sensor hubs to widen the observational net across the inner solar system. 3 flagship projects formed Sentinel's backbone. First, the Helios array, positioned at the Earth-Sun L2 point. Helios provided unparalleled stability and darkness for deep space observations. Officially dedicated to exoplanet research, its true utility lay in capturing high-resolution optical and infrared data on the object's structure and thermal behavior, leveraging its unobstructed field of view and continuous solar shielding. Second, Umbra Watch. Deployed in high polar orbit, Umbra Watch offered a crucial off-ecliptic vantage, enabling precise parallax measurements when paired with Helios. It specialized in detecting subtle trajectory variations and gravitational lensing events, phenomena requiring triangulated verification and high-angle observation paths. Third, DriftNet. Rather than traditional observatories, DriftNet was a swarm of precisely positioned micro-devices dispersed across the outer solar system. Each unit, powered by compact nuclear batteries, operated continuously where solar energy was insufficient. These devices formed a gravitational interferometer. By measuring infinitesimal shifts in spacetime curvature, DriftNet aimed to create a gravitational telescope, observing the interstellar fleet using gravity waves rather than light. This required sub-nanometer accurate tracking and positioning beyond the gravitational clutter of the inner planets, allowing unprecedented sensitivity. It was humanity's first attempt at gravitational wave imaging on an interstellar scale. The pace was unprecedented. Within months of consensus, blueprints were finalized, supply chains redirected, and automated systems mobilized. Prototypes that typically required a decade of validation were greenlit under emergency protocols. In ordinary times, such efforts would have collapsed under political rivalries, interagency conflict, and budget disputes. But now survival mattered more than pride or partisanship. Urgency cut through bureaucracy like a blade. Projects that would have taken decades were completed in 3 years. Funding flowed through shell corporations and black budget streams. After early challenges, the Sentinel systems began delivering results. The data was richer and more complex than anything previously gathered from deep space. Bit by bit, the veil lifted. Patterns emerged, movements were tracked, anomalies mapped. Though nothing definitive was revealed at first, the sheer quantity and consistency of observations left little doubt. Something extraordinary was approaching. As the findings accumulated, ICEP grew more serious. Reports shifted from speculation to urgent planning. Observation evolved into sustained mobilization. Each new insight deepened investment and global political transformation. Propaganda machines slowed, media divisiveness softened, old power rivalries lost traction. The more governments uncovered, the clearer it became. Survival required unity, not dominance.